Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are watching Teen Wolf. This is episode 8 of season 3. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the first 7 episodes, and we would usually be getting close to the end to the season finale, but no, mate, we have got double of what we've currently watched left. We've got this and 16 more, mate. It's going to be an epic ride this season. We can already tell the action is going down all over the place. We've got so many stories going on. It's really good. Last episode we had a threat from Deucalion to Scott. It was like, look, mate, we have taken Deaton, we've tied him up. He's either going to die today or Derek. And I think he said Derek. It's your choice, mate. You can only save one. Then, obviously, Derek, Isaac, and Boyd, they tried to come up with a plan to entice them into his apartment. They flooded it. Boyd came up with a plan. He was saying, do you remember that time when we was getting electrocuted, when we was tied up? Yeah, the current was flowing through us. Maybe we can do that on a larger scale. They planned to absolutely flood Derek's apartment and then, obviously, entice the alphas in. And when they come here, they was going to electrocute them and take them down. Well, they was already one step ahead. They'd planned to come. They left a mark on the window. That is how Derek and Boyd and Isaac knew that it was coming, and they come and they cut the power off. Now Carly, she come in, she had a scrap with Derek. She also brought a bit of collateral with her as well. She brought the two twins, and she brought the teacher along, the one that Derek's seeing, and she made her witness pretty much Derek in this transition. His face obviously was in the wolf form, his eyes was red, and they was going at it. Now Carly, she's quite good, isn't she? She's a good scrapper. So far she's pretty much come up trumps in every altercation that she's had with Derek, and she does seem quite strong. And like I said, they was very smart that they already cut the power before they went in, so they couldn't get electrocuted. Now, like I said, Scott, he chose to try and go and save Deaton. He ran there with the help from Derek's sister, by obviously help from Allison, because Scott went to obviously Alan's house. He was looking for information. He snuck into Chris's room. Actually, it was Chris, mate. Smart guy. He's got a map, yeah? It looks plain on the front until you whack it under a bit of UV light, and he's writing in pen, obviously, that you can only see under the fluorescent light. And what he has done is he's marked up locations of bodies, possible deaths, death locations, body locations, possible next killing sprees, victims. Guy's really smart. He's marking it all up on this map. And then what they've done is obviously they put it under the light. They took the pictures. They've gone back. They tried to decode it. Tried to figure out what's going on. He was trying to search the different locations. Obviously, his sister's come in. She was like, look, mate, it's the bank. It's there. It's being kept to the place where we was left. And that is where Scott was like, you go and get Derek. I'll go and get him. He went. He couldn't get in. It had the ash around the seal. It was smart, like he has in his shop. Scott couldn't get in to save him. While he was trying to force his way in, his eyes went all red. He seen it, Deaton. He was like, look, mate. Well, actually, before he said, look, mate, Styles' dad come. He shot the rope. He saved him. Scott couldn't get in, but he could. He said, I knew that I'd seen something. When I was in his shop, I was looking at all the symbols. I knew I remembered this location, this bank, and that is how the day got saved. But he also said to Scott, mate, look, your eyes turn red, and it's very rare. Not many people have it, but in rare occasions, sometimes people can become alphas by being morally good people, etc. And he was explaining it to him. It was very good. And he was saying the reason why Deucalion's here, he's not here for Derek. He's a smokescreen, mate. He's here for you. Exciting stuff. I knew that anyway. It's no biggie to us. But they going back to obviously Derek's apartment. They was having a scrap. They ran in there and they turned the power on. We thought it was going to turn into Derek's advantage. No, it kind of like in all the chaos, they kind of jumped onto Boyd, lifted him up and threw him onto Derek's claws. And that is it, mate. Derek has killed one of his own. His pack is being thinned. Eric is dead now. Boyd's dead. Derek's killed one of them. Accidentally, it wasn't his fault, but still, it was him that done it. So yeah, it's crazy. 2 deaths this season so far in terms of Derek's pack. About 6 deaths in murders, whoever that is that's doing it. Gerard's still alive, and Allison went to see him at the end, not because she likes him, but I think she's trying to get answers. I don't know what's going on, but it's amazing, mate. I'm really enjoying it. So thanks for clicking on today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, please smash like. Really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into episode 8 of season 3 of Teen Wolf. that Styles? Oh, no,
You're a Hale, aren't you?
A Hale? Oh. Oh, mate, a Hale?
They were there for 2 days. Waiting, hiding.
Okay, so is 2 days standard then, or are we thinking Derek's on like some extended getaway?
Something different about him now. He wasn't like this when I knew him.
What was he like?
A lot like Scott, actually.
And so what happened? What changed him?
Well, the same thing that changes a lot of young men. A girl.
You telling me some girl broke his little heart?
If you want to know what changed Derek, you need to know what changed the color of his eyes.
Innit, mate? Never even thought of that. You know what, yeah? Never thought of that at all. I obviously just associated at the time when we first seen Derek says he was just a different pack. And because he wasn't an alpha, he wasn't red, but his packs was blue. And Scott's was orange. That was it. I literally, you know, I never actually thought any more into it because ever since we've only ever seen orange eyes, haven't we? And the alphas, and Derek's was blue when he was first introduced. How interesting is it that we've actually gone all the way back into season 1 and kind of referenced it? Now you do in the recaps before the episodes, sometimes they do mention something and it's like, okay, we're going down this line this episode, so they shown Gerard in the recap, which means I expected him to be in this episode and he's sat right here. But it's interesting now because we did reference a season 1 clip in the first episode, and now obviously he's kind of mentioning it in this episode again.
Come in, Scott, and give an old man a little something for his pain.
If I do this, you have to tell us everything you know. Everything.
Hey, do you guys mind?
Oh.
I'm trying to practice.
If you get the ball from me, maybe I'll stop.
Interesting. So that's a Hale. He's a Hale, mate.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm trying to practice, if you didn't notice. All right, I'll tell you my name. If you can play one instrument in this room.
Triangle.
My name's Paige.
My name's...
I know who you are.
Oh, is it Derek? Derek. Right. She's broke his heart.
Found a third body?
Another doctor right after Scott found Eaton.
Right after? Almost like it was expected he'd survive. Maybe he planned it that way.
He would never let anyone innocent die.
Don't be so sure, you'd be surprised. You know, Scott, you've made me something of a celebrity here. A medical mystery. I can tell you one thing. Deucalion may have lost his eyes, but he's not always blind.
So he's got 6 little cronies that are knocking around, getting him all his info, feeding it. Is that what he's referencing? If not, interesting, mate. The guy obviously had good senses. The Spidey ones were tingling, weren't they, when he knew Isaac was in trouble at the school miles away. So again, it seems pretty good. Every Scott tried scrapping with him, he was countering it. He couldn't take the stick off him, so he does have good senses.
Okay, so if Derek was a sophomore back then, how old was he? How old were you? How old are you now?
Not as young as we could have been, but not as old as you might think.
I'm 17.
See, that's an answer.
17, so she's old enough for the school.
17 how you'd measure in years.
All right, I'm just gonna drop it.
Their favorite dark corner was an abandoned distillery outside of Beacon Hills. Back then, I wasn't just Derek's uncle. I was his best friend.
Why do you like me? I think at first you liked me because I didn't like you.
Nah, you're worried I'm gonna stop liking you?
Not worried, just wondering when. Did you hear something? What's wrong?
Something happened to you. We have to go. Come on. Let's go.
Oh, it's the Alphas back in the day.
An arrow in his throat. They hung him, cut him in half. They killed one of ours.
Why did they kill him?
Because your young, naive beta killed one of them.
Each with their own packs before they'd killed them all and decided to form their little all-star team. There was an exceptionally powerful alpha who did live here.
Who is it, mate? Who is it? Yeah, this is what I wanted to see, mate. Look how good this is, an actual wolf. That was Derek's sister. That's why she was killed by fucking Peter Hill, mate. Yo, that looks so much better than Derek and Scott.
How Valley of Hale.
Yo, mate. That is the one that Peter killed. Surely it is, mate. Because when we seen it, when he dug that body up, when he unravelled it, when he had that spiral, she was a dog and then she was a human. It's well interesting now, you know. I'm just trying to think, man. Like, how's Deucalion got into the strengthy, scary position he is right now? And how did he lose his eyesight? You know, he's currently got it here. What I thought was funny then is that girl, did she say her name was Paige, talking to Derek. She said, like, you know, when you, do you still like me or something? And it just makes you think that. I always see it on Instagram and stuff, like when you come home from a hard day's work and your girlfriend asks me, will you still love me if I was a turtle or something like that? Do you know what I mean? That is like something that your girlfriend's asked. You know, if you come home and I was a turtle one time, would you still love me? Or would you go and date someone else? And you just literally just like, oh my God, mate. What? Because the thing is, right, if you said you'd date someone else, you'd get the silent treatment. You'd be sleeping on the couch the next 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Or they have a dream and, you know, you do something in the dream that they dislike and you wake up and they're mad with you all day like it was you. That is literally like so funny. Like, I love it. So I thought that little conversation that they had then was interesting. But Peter was spying on them. He was spying on them. Somebody was there, somebody was tied up. They said that they killed an Argent. Which one? And then obviously the Argents retaliated by killing one of theirs. Very interesting. I do like it.
They ripped his claws right out of his fingers. I'm done with it.
Yeah, that was true, wasn't it?
Mark for vendetta.
Losing a member of your pack isn't like losing family.
They wouldn't even let him see the body.
I want his body. It belongs to me.
And right now they're telling me there's a young man who was shot in the throat with an arrow and literally cut in half. This is a homicide investigation.
Personally, I looked at Ennis's circumstances. I saw profound loss.
What happened to her? I'm interested.
I'm not staring. I'm listening. Am I distracting you?
No. I've got laser-like focus. I hate you.
No, you don't. You love me.
Yo, imagine she was an Argent and she was the one that was killed. That would be interesting.
The thing was, he had this constant fear.
What are you doing here?
I'm looking out for my favorite nephew, making sure no one has a crossbow aimed at your throat. I'd probably be thinking about it all the time.
Thinking about what?
Or finding out. You've thought that through, right?
She doesn't have to find out.
But they always do. There's really only one way to make sure you'll always be together.
Interesting. Do you know what? Dumb me did not even realise that it was young Peter Hale dragging Lydia to the Hale house when he was resurrected. I didn't even clock it, mate. I did not clock. I clocked it now in episode 8 of season 3. Yeah, we're season way out. Like, I obviously clocked out it was a person and she was kind of attracted and enticed and she followed him and he was dancing. I did not clock it was Peter Hale. It's interesting. I can't believe it.
Every day, the more he thought about it, the more convinced he became. I bet he even blames me.
Laura told you about the packs being here, right? There are more alphas than I've ever seen in one place. One little bite, and she never gets sick again. She stays younger, more beautiful.
Yeah, wait, Peter's not kidding me. I know for a fact he manipulated him in his head to do it.
Is that blood?
Sacrificial blood.
I think that's a tree in it from
An
the credits. From a what? An Emmeton.
It's a sacred meeting place. Serious problems for the surrounding villages. Fires, plagues, strife. Death and destruction of all kinds.
The older wolves had a relationship with the druids. They called them emissaries. According to myth, some Greek citizens believed they owed their lives more to Prometheus than to the gods. Lycaon didn't just refuse to honor the gods, he challenged them. The part that's lesser known is how Lycaon sought out the druids to help turn him back to human. They couldn't make Lycaon and his sons human again, but they did teach them how to shift.
But they're a secret even in the pack. Sometimes only the Alpha knows who the emissary is. Derek and I had no idea about Deaton.
Or his sister, Morel.
Why the hell don't you people tell me any of this stuff, huh? I shared some really intimate details with her.
I admire your willingness to extend an olive branch. I have to tell you, it might not be welcome.
I'm not sure that Gerard is the one to accept it.
When the scorpion asked the frog to carry him across the river, halfway across the river, the scorpion stung the frog. When the frog asked him why he did it, the scorpion replied, "It's my nature."
Imagine if it was Gerard, the one that blinded him. That was an interesting story about the frog and the scorpion. No matter how much people tell you the truth, you never know.
Derek?
Oh.
Ennis. Why would you choose him?
Doing a favor for Derek meant Ennis would be in good with Talia.
Oh, he knew it was happening. Okay, it was a setup. I thought he was going to kill her.
Did he turn her?
Almost. 15-year-old boy against a giant. There's no reason for him to fight.
This episode's been interesting.
Surprised when Deaton came to arrange a meeting with Deucalion. You know the Sanskrit fable of the scorpion and the turtle? And when the scorpion stings the turtle, dooming them both, what does he say to explain his behavior?
It's my nature.
I know a werewolf's nature. I knew exactly what was coming.
Alright, so he used a reference of a scorpion and a turtle. No, Deaton, he used a reference of a frog and a scorpion. But turtle, wonder if it had a shell on it. I don't know. But it's interesting. Basically, yeah, he knew, mate. You know, everybody's instincts is the same. No matter, you can polish it. You can't. It's like polishing a turd. You know, no matter how much you polish it and shine it up, it's still a turd. Pretty much. And that's like, you know, a scorpion. No matter how much it'll say, "I'm not going to sting you," its instinct is at one point it's going to sting you. It's like a bee. You think it will sting you, you shake it around, you hold it enough, it will try and get out, it'll sting you. So, it's interesting. He knows what a wolf's like, and he was prepared for it. He was ready for it.
You know, the process of distillation is the separating of two substances by pushing them into their different volatile states.
They attacked you?
It was an ambush. They wanted peace too. Look what you did to them.
Most of the time, the bite takes.
When you offered it to me, you said it. If it doesn't kill you.
What's happening to her?
He knew the answer, though. It didn't matter that she was young and strong.
So, how did he get from that position of weakness to the absolute beast mode position that he's in now? You know, I can't believe Gerard. He's crazy, him, isn't he? He actually is. Let's be honest. You got to call a spade a spade. The guy is crazy. Like, they went in there for peace, you know. What I've took from that is he was telling the story, they was telling the story. They both got two different sides of the story. They both telling the same. Well, I was listening to the same story kind of told by two different ways. Now, interestingly from him, yeah, he attacked his own people. He had a bat that looked like claws or whatever's. He hit everybody and attacked all and killed his own people and said they're the ones that attacked me to make it look like it was okay for him to retaliate. Now I want to know if Deucalion finds out that Gerard's alive, might go after him. That'd be good to see.
Right after I told you my name, I think I knew. Things in this town before, things no one really could explain. How you say things like how you'd catch a scent. I know you can hear things. I can't take it anymore. I can't.
Do feel sorry for Derek in this situation, man. You know what? These two actors have done well this episode.
Another in a long line of Beacon Hill's animal attacks.
I mean, I think the blue eyes look way better. Oh, your eyes look fucking sick, Peter, mate. Honestly, I just said they look better. They do. They look sick.
Leave me alone. You are alone.
We can still see him. he looks good, doesn't he, man?
The whole time that you were telling your story, I was listening to your heartbeat. It never went up, and it never went down. It was steady the whole time.
Because I was telling the truth.
If you lied and it gets people hurt, I'll be back to take away more than your pain.
Actually, like, that's the first time we've seen him be intimidating. Usually, he's the one that's
What?
not like that.
All right, Miss Blake's class, we're reading Heart of Darkness, and it's in first person, right? Narrated by Marlowe. The thing is that he's an unreliable narrator. Right, and I don't think we got the whole story.
Said it, didn't I? I said it, mate. I said it. I was listening to the stories, yeah, and they was lying. Like, Gerard was lying. He said that they attacked him and he didn't. And I could, from his story, Peter's, he was saying that they was Derek's side and it wasn't. Like, they was lying, but they was telling it. And it's always the same, mate. When there's an accusation or there's an argument, you should never judge it on the first person, the first time you hear it. So if somebody tweets something saying that X has just done something to Y, wait, get Y's perspective. Did it happen? You know, because there's two sides to every story. There's two sides to a coin. The first one you listen to is not always the truth.
Derek, I did something terrible. My eyes, they're different, but still beautiful, just like the rest of you.
Oh, I play Ave Maria. I like playing it, mate. Play violin. Interesting. I thought it was a good episode, actually. I really like the information that they're giving out, mate. They proper hardcore feeding information, telling stories. That's what I'm liking. We're getting background stories. We found out how Duke Killing has got his eyes the way he is. We found out that he's not always blind, mate. You know, I was saying, of course he's not blind. He's got 6 other people there that's feeding him information. No. When he turns into his wolf form, he can see clear as day. Well, not clear as day, but he can still see. That guy tried taking him out. Mate, that guy deserved to die, the guy that tried taking him out. You seen him straight away. It's like, weakness, need to go. No, mate, you're the weakness. You're the weakest link. Goodbye. / mate. He got killed. His face looks sick as well. You know, the reason why Peter and Derek's eyes were blue is because they lost like a little bit of their soul, didn't they? You know, we got Derek's backstory here. I thought it was good, actually. Now, it was interesting. The guy that Duke killed at his own park, the one that he was getting helped by Deaton when he come in and he killed him, he was the one that actually bit Paige, and she didn't survive. You know, she went on the Jackson kind of route where it just didn't work. You know, her body was fighting it. Luckily for Lydia, her body actually self-healed, survived. She's literally the only person that we've seen successfully survive something like that. But then it looks like she's had some sort of after effects after it. She's the one that's seen all these supernaturals, the dead or something. We still don't know what it is. You know, last episode as well, we referenced it. She said, I'm not anything. And Styles was like, well, you are something. You know, like, we don't even know. But having been bitten and surviving it, it still had... it's had an impact on her. She's seen Peter Hale when he was younger. She was part of being in Resurrected. She is seeing these entities. She wasn't in this episode, but... she is the only one that's actually survived. We see Paige there. She's suffering. Derek's had to take it away. Gerard, you know, he's dying. He's actually alive, him, but he's still bleeding. He's still all this black gus and goo and all that's coming out. He's still there. Happened with Jackson as well. He turned into the Kennemer, and then he obviously managed to transition round into being a wolf, who's actually not in the season anymore. It's a little disappointing. Hopefully he comes back next one. Might be having a break. God knows. He's in England though. Big up picking this country, but it's interesting anyway. You know, I'm liking the storylines between everybody. I like how they ended up telling the storylines by saying that that's how Deaton and his sister become kind of like allies, or kind of like part of like I can't remember the specific word, but it's kind of like a go-to. You know, like each part kind of had a person that they went to, an advisor. They speak to him, someone to help him, and that is how obviously he's got his associations with it. What I think is good is we didn't really. I don't know. Did we need that info? I never really was searching for it, but it's nice to have. Sometimes it's just like, oh, that's a nice bit of information. At least you've tied up a bit of story. You've linked it together. Like, I never really was searching for it, and I probably would never care if I never got it. But you thought enough to feed it, and I actually like it, and it was decent. So yeah, that was good. I liked it. The backstory is pretty good as well. And obviously, they said that they killed an agent. We didn't figure out who that agent was right now, but then they also retaliated by killing one of the wolves, and that is why obviously this all happened. Now, from that point, currently in that backstory, all the wolves are still reunited. They're all a team. But the killer's just lost his eyesight. How did we get from there, from all not being a team to him being a leader? Obviously, again, hopefully, we're doing a lot of information building that it does get played out further down the line, because so far they've done a good job of it. Okay, and that is going to wrap up episode 8 of season 3 of Teen Wolf, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying the season so far. I have. I think there's been high action. I also think there's been a lot of deaths, lots of storytelling, and so much information being given. Now, I'm not a big fan of Gerard, but this episode, he was a good asset. You know, I liked his storytelling, even though I do think most of it was BS. Even Scott called it out at the end. You know, the whole time you was telling me that story, your heart never fluctuated. The beats never changed. Steady state. You didn't go up, you didn't go down. And that is because I think you are lying. And if you are lying and innocent people get hurt, I will be coming back for you. And it will only be pain that is being taken away from you. It's going to be your life, mate. Didn't say that, but that's what he was insinuating. But the story that was being told was good. And he referenced a frog and a scorpion, where Deaton, he referenced a turtle and a scorpion. But in the end, they was trying to insinuate the same thing. That regardless of people's instincts and what they say they're going to do, they're always going to fall back into the natural state. So he was saying that a wolf they invited to go to a meeting, well, to kill him, right? He might have actually had the intentions for peace or whatnot, but Gerard, he wasn't having none of it. He was referencing them as a scorpion. I knew what they was going to do. A wolf was going to fall back in his state. They were going to attack. They're not going to tell the truth, not going to make peace. You know, they've always got one way, and it's going to be this way, attack. And I've got to strike first. That is his opinion that he took of the scorpion of the wolves, and he did do that. He attacked his own people as well. He made it look like it was a big massacre, and it had to be done. He brought a bat out. He clocked all the humans, knocking them all out. He went after killing them as well. He got these archery arrows which had sparks on them, boom, in his eyes, and that is obviously how he lost his sight. Now I'm interested to see how we further go down the line with him, and how we get into the position of being the pack leader, and how he convinces everybody else to take out their own pack, because maybe he says, mate, the strength that I've just got from killing this guy here who's attacked me is so euphoric that you'll want to do it as well. And maybe they try it and think, yeah, mate, it actually is, and that is how they spin round to get to where they are. But his story was interesting because he was telling it, and I think it was interesting, but I wasn't fully believing him. And then obviously we had Peter Hale on the other side telling the story of Derek, which was actually really good, about his girlfriend, how he got to how he is. You know, he's always like, he kind of reminded me about Scott. He's a nice, caring guy until something happened to a loved one and it broke his heart. And, you know, Paige, she ended up dying, and he believes it's his fault. That is how his eyes went blue. Now, to me, the blue eyes look so much better than the orange or the yellow or whatever colour they are. Just the blue looks better. I like it. I just think that it stands out way more. I actually think it looks better than the red eyes, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. You know, Peter Hale's currently got blue eyes, which we've just seen this episode, which I actually really liked. And he was BSing in his story. Like I said, again, he was saying it was all Derek's idea to like Turner and stuff like that, but it wasn't. He was being manipulated by Peter. I don't know why. Maybe, hopefully he was doing it from a nice, thoughtful standpoint. Like, look, mate, you really like this girl. She kind of likes you, but, you know, you've got this constant fear. It's happened in the past before where you've like opened yourself up and they found out and they've been scared, or you've lost them when they found out what you are, and the only way you can successfully, you know, eliminate all of that and your worries for her and the safe there is like transition her. If she transitions over, you'll be together forever, you'll be the same. And he's kind of like thought about it and kind of gone with it and let somebody else do the deeds, but it's not worked, and that's how she's ended up dying, and he's ended up having to kill her, and that's how his eyes have changed. But again, I thought it was a good backstory. So that's him BSing, and that's Gerard BSing. That's what I'm calling anyway, because even Styles said it. He was speaking to Cora at the end. He was saying, look, mate, I know we told these stories, but we're learning something out of school, and the story's being told by somebody, but you could tell by the story and the narrative that it's kind of biased. It's on one side, it's all leaning towards him, and it does, a piece of jigsaw don't fit, and it's like we have to get the second side before we can make any decision. I do understand that. I like it. There's always two sides to every story. Every time you hear one accusation, you've got to hear the other person's before you can make a sound decision. Somebody's not guilty until you get the whole facts, and that's just a fact in life. Somebody, accuses you of something, until you plead your case, you're not guilty. You're innocent until proven guilty. You're not guilty because someone makes an accusation. I can't go over to someone and say, mate, you took 10 quid off me. I threw that out there, the accusation. Now, if I told everybody in the room that they'd done it, quite a lot of people would probably say, hey, you scruff mate, give him his money back. Where instead of saying, did you take it, and getting their side, because there's two sides to every story, once they say, how could I have took it, mate? I've not even been here. I've never met him before. This is my first day. You'd be like, okay, why are you lying? And that is, you know what I mean? That's why it's always interesting to get a second perspective. And he said, yeah, you know what? If I have to go to Derek and get his side of it, I will do. I actually think he will do as well, because Styles is a strategist and he's smart. Him and Lydia are really clever. And we didn't even see Lydia. And like I said, her side of what's going on with her story and these entities and stuff like that will be key later on in the season. So I can't wait to see how she plays out. But that is going to wrap up today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.